Oh, yes. Oh, yes, it is that time of year. The NFL is in full swing. And today is the start of the NBA season. This is the sweet spot of the I Am Rapaport Stereo podcast. So we have an everything shit talker making his return to the I Am Rapaport Stereo podcast. My man, Matty Barnes, is here. Have no fear. We're talking all NBA everything. We're talking FlinchGate, the Kobe Bryant FlinchGate that just won't go away, and everything popping in the NBA. Jimmy Butler, Kawhi Leonard, Kyrie Irving, and so much more. We got a phone call from Bizarro, Steph, Curry that I found very offensive. Plus, we're talking about the sick fucking New England Patriots fans. They get Aielloed, and so much more on a Smash Mouth I Am Rapaport Stereo podcast. Miles, Jordan, please, let me get something real funky, real nice on a brand new, banging I Am Rapaport Stereo podcast. All right, listen, I'm going to keep it real. You guys know that I am not about that fashion life. I can't even tell the difference between blue and purple. I could barely tell the difference between green and brown. That's why I am excited to be working with Menlo Club. I have a fantastic, sick, easy access, very fair priced wardrobe that I got from the Menlo Club for just $60 a month. You get 2 curated items of clothing shipped to you directly to your door to help you build a thorough and well-balanced wardrobe. I'm rocking that shit right now. If you saw me last week on FS1, I was rocking Menlo clothes. You get to choose from 4 style profiles: classic, casual, forward, or mixed. I use the mixed. There's free shipping, direct delivery to your doorstep with seasonally curated items for just $60 a month. For the month of October, go to www.themenloclub, ThemenLoclub, www.themenloclub.com. Use the promo code CHAMP, that's me, CHAMP, at sign up and get a double package for your first month for only $60. The clothes fit. I look fantastic. I feel fantastic. I've been getting compliments all the time. And members can pause or cancel their membership at any time. Go to themenloclub.com. That's themenloclub.com. And do not forget to use the promo code CHAMP. Yes. This is what it's all about. The NBA season starts tonight. The NFL is heading into week 7. Week 6 was ridiculous. There's sick fucks all over the place. There's dumb fucks all over the place. And you are in the one and only right place if you're listening to this brand new I Am Rapaport Stereo podcast. As I said before, special guest Matt Barnes is joining me later on. I'm so fucking excited. The NBA is here. Have no fear. The NFL is on and popping. Kanye West is in Africa. What the fuck more can you ask for? We're doing a brand new I Am Rapaport Stereo podcast. I'm going to be totally honest. I don't even know where to start. There's so much shit to pluck from. We'll just start with the slow pitch down the middle. Kanye West is gone. He's fucking out of his tree. I don't think it's funny anymore. He deleted all his social media, he's in Africa. And he popped up on Twitter the other day, and I think he made like a 15-minute live video stream from Africa. If I traveled all the way to fucking Africa, the last fucking thing that I would be doing is tweeting and live streaming. Isn't there so many different things to experience and to see? If you're in Uganda, there's got to be like restaurants and tours and safaris and people. It's Africa. Can't stop, won't stop with motherfucking Kanye West. It just won't stop. But I have to admit, I actually feel like the man now needs a third party to come in and snatch his ass up. The Kardashians, they don't care. I think they're like, listen, we love him. If he comes home, great. If he doesn't, it's sad. It's not what we prefer. He knows where to find us. But this motherfucking train ain't stopping for anybody. One guy doesn't stop the whole show. There's no I in Kardashians. There might be an I in Kardashians, but you know what I'm saying. They don't give a fuck. That train is running, and it's going to keep on running no matter what. Matter of fact, I was in a cafe the other day in Los Angeles, and out of nowhere, they just pop up out of nowhere. Kendall Jenner was in the fucking cafe. Just popped up out of nowhere. I don't know how she got there. There was about 5 people with her. And, she's sitting right behind me. She was very soft-spoken. We didn't make eye contact. I would imagine she has no idea who the fuck I am. She seemed very sweet. She was very nice to the wait staff. This is a place that I go to all the time. And the thing that was most interesting about seeing Kendall Jenner in public is that the 5 people with her who were nobodies, okay? I didn't know who the fuck they were. And, I follow this shit. I'm not proud of it, but I follow this shit, okay? I sniff around. I know what's going on. The 5 hanger-oners of Kendall Jenner were acting like their shit didn't stink. That's what was most noticeable. They thought they were why everybody in the restaurant was staring and hobnobbing and trying to sneak pictures. Nobody gives a fuck about your crew, Kendall Jenner. This isn't to you. This is really to your crew. There was a sort of a I belong sort of attitude. Like I've earned the right to be here with Kendall, and you're not just taking pictures of her, you're taking pictures of me. And that's not true. Nobody gives a fuck about your crew. Your crew is whack. They have like those dead faces, like those non-emotional sort of dead faces, like they could care less about anything. The entire restaurant knew Kendall Jenner was there. Little kids. There was a couple little girls around 11 and 12-year-old. They were like, it was like they saw a ghost when they saw her. But you know what's crazy about living in Los Angeles? And I wasn't in any fancy place. It's just a regular sort of restaurant. You see shit like this all the fucking time. But with the Jenners and the Kardashians, when you see them out, when they arrive, 15, 20 minutes later, at least 10 to 15 paparazzis will be arriving afterwards. Like the cameras, the cell phones, the whole thing. They're out there. They're ready. I don't know how they track these motherfuckers. I don't know if they have tracking devices on them or they're chipped. Like my dog Wheezy is chipped. God forbid if he ever got lost. Someone found him. They bring him to the shelter. They bring him to the vet. He's chipped. And it'll say, return to the Gringo Mandingo. That's me. Return to the Jake LaMotta of podcasting. That's me. Or return to the white chocolatito. That's also me. My dog is chipped. And I don't know if these Jenner and Kardashians are chipped. But anytime you see them, lo and behold, you're going to see TMZ and the cronies soon after. But Kanye West is definitely out of his fucking tree. Literally out of his fucking tree. And if somebody really cared about him, they'd get this guy the help he needs. Because it's not cute. It's not funny. I'm literally concerned that something's going to happen to him. Or he's going to do something to himself. He's not right. This isn't an act. This isn't a shtick. Homeboy is not right. And you could tell, we talked about him visiting the White House. At one point when he was there at the White House, President Dick Stain Donald Trump, you could see in his eyes, he was like, oh, this guy's fucking nuts. Well, why don't you get me somebody like else? Bring in another rapper, because this rapper here, he's fucking gonzo. You can see Trump looking at Kanye like, oh, this is a crazy person. And it's just piling on for Kanye. Drake went on LeBron James's HBO show, The Shop, and aired his ass out. I mean, you don't battle anymore. There's no rhymes. There's no more rules. There's no more codes in hip hop. And if you don't want to do a diss record, just go on a TV show. Go, make LeBron into your Dr. Melfi like The Sopranos, and have therapy on HBO with LeBron James. He shitted all over Kanye West because I guess Kanye West shitted on him. But Drake ain't a victim here. Let us not forget that Drake is not the victim here. He started the Pusha T shit. He started talking about his brother. He started talking all that other shit. And then as we all know, Pusha T cracked his ass. Drake also talked about this on LeBron's show. He complained to LeBron about that. And it was a real whine fest. And he sounded very Jewish. That was the first time I ever heard Drake sound Jewish. When he was whining and complaining to LeBron James, he sounded like the bar mitzvah boy we all know is deep inside, or just right underneath the surface. I never heard him sound like a Jew. He sounded like a Jew, which I have no problem with because he's half Jewish. I just don't know why a lot of the times, most of the times, he doesn't act that way. He doesn't act like he's half Jewish, but he sounded fucking like a whiny Larry David, Woody Allen, hook nose, Upper East Side, penny pinching Jew. He sounded just like that. And I never heard him sound like that. But this is where we are in hip hop. You don't need to make music. You could just complain about it. Drake talked about the rules and you don't say this. It's like the NFL. The hip hop is now like the NFL. Like, you can't body slam anybody in hip hop. You can't sack anybody too hard in hip hop. It's like protect the quarterback, protect the MC is happening in hip hop. There's rules and regulations in what used to be a free sport in hip hop. And Drake has ushered that in. Shout out to Usher. No disrespect to Usher. I said earlier that it was a good year for hip hop, but things are changing. Hopefully, not too much. Hopefully, the traditions and the hip hop values will stay intact. But the days of really shit talking and dragging somebody, they might get their feelings hurt, and then you could just go on an HBO show with LeBron James, complain about it. To this day, I think it's about a month since Eminem dropped his Kamikaze record, talked shit about a whole bunch of people. The only person that responded is Machine Gun Kelly. And he did a respectable job. But all the other people that were dissing Eminem's last record, he came at them. And I got to tell you, that Eminem record has grown on me more and more and more. I liked it to begin with, but that is a dope. I've never said this about an Eminem record. That is a dope ass record. It's really fucking good. I've liked songs on Eminem records before, but this, as a whole, this is a dope record. This is a dope record, but no one responds. Tyler, the Creator, Joe Button, Vince Staples, all the other people, no one said anything back except for Machine Gun Kelly. This is where we are in hip-hop. But it has been a great year for hip-hop. I have had a great year personally with hip-hop. Been on 3 records. Not 2, 3. ASAP 12, his record. Sean Price, his record. And the Ghostface Killer new record that just came out. That's what I've done this year in hip-hop. 3 fucking records. You can hear the golden voice of me, Michael Rapaport, a.k.a. the Gringo Mandingo. 3 records. That's not chopped liver. That is not fucking chopped liver. I suggest you check out all 3 of them. The Ghostface Lost Tapes records, dope. Okay, the Sean Price record is dope. Okay, check them shits out.
I am Rapaport Podcast.
NFL Week 6 is in the books, and it was a crazy ass high scoring weekend again. I mean, you got teams scoring 38 points, 26 points, 38-7, just putting up crazy fucking numbers. Dallas I think had 44 points against Jacksonville. The Jacksonville Jaguars and my guy Jalen Ramsey. I thought they were doing it. They ain't doing shit the last 2 weeks. They lost the last 2 games and they're getting numbers ran up on them like pinball machines. If you like football or you don't like football, try to catch a replay of the Patriots Kansas City Chiefs game, which was just a fucking, talk about pinball, 43-40. Tom Brady he ran in a touchdown, took a hit from like 5 yards out. He's 41 years old and slow. He's like Walter White. He's a killer. He's an assassin. I don't understand like how he does it. The Chiefs were kicking ass. The Patriots were kicking ass. Our guy Julian Edelman, Julian Edelman, I don't know if you're listening to this episode of the I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast, but are you a double agent? Because I have to admit, ever since I met Julian Edelman, and he's been on the podcast twice, my disdain for the Patriots has softened. Did Bill fucking Belichick send you in as a double agent? Does Bill Belichick want my love, Julian Edelman? Because I got to be honest, I found myself rooting for the Patriots against the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, I don't have any affinity for the Kansas City Chiefs, but I was actually rooting for the Patriots, and I think the reason is because I fuck with Julian Edelman. He's softened me up. But one thing that has not softened, and it was just highlighted, is the Boston fans. This has been all over the news, sports news, and made its way to mainstream news. At one point in, I believe it was the fourth quarter, this is the Iron Rapaport Stereo Podcast. We don't fact check anything. At one point in the fourth quarter, Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver, you should just call him Kansas City Chiefs sprinter. They should just not even call him a wide receiver or a running back or a slot receiver. Just call him sprinter. Because this motherfucker is, I mean, he's ridiculous. Ridiculously fast. Tyreek, the freak Hill, caught a pass and just, whew, I mean, it was literally like a sprinter, like a 100-yard dash dude in the Olympics, like some Usain Bolt shit, but he's like one of those little fast motherfuckers. Caught the pass, ran up the sideline, scored a touchdown. He was going so fast that like he had to slow himself down like a sprinter in the Olympics, and he ran close right up to the edge of the stadium, braced himself, and turned around. He turned around quick and went back into. He didn't celebrate or anything. But they were in New England, and there was a whole bunch of Patriots fans, and nobody really caught it on live TV. But after the game and the next day, it's been all over the news. When Tyreek Hill was right next to the fans and just bracing himself, wasn't taunting them or anything, and he's going like, he's slowing himself down from going like 100 miles per hour. When he reached the New England Patriot Savages, I won't even call them fans, we'll just call them the New England Patriot Savages, and this happened very quickly, in like about a span of 3 or 4 seconds. A handful of fans, about, 5, 6, 7 of them, threw beer right in his face. One of them spit beer in his face. Men and women gave him the middle finger, the fuck you sign, right in his face. And the whole thing was caught on videotape. Now, these savages, men and women, one in particular who I think spit the beer in Tyreek Hill's face, has been banned from going to Foxborough. He's been shamed, as he should. I think he should get fired from his job. His mother should be brought aware of the situation like you would do a 6th grader who's done bad at school. And of course, you get Aielloed on the I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast. Because if Tyreek Hill or any other player could, they would have kicked you in your fucking ass, smacked the shit out of you. This is no way for anybody to behave. You cocksucker! You Boston motherfucker, you! You beer-spitting motherfucker! You spit beer in my fucking face. I'll get my fucking baseball bat and I'll crack your fucking head. You fucking animal. Your fucking wife's a fucking animal also. I just scored a fucking touchdown. You're lucky I don't climb out of the fucking stadium and beat you with my cleats, you motherfucker, you. That's Danny Aiello making his appearance on the I Am Rapaport Stereo podcast. Aielloing the New England Patriots savages. Savages. They should be shamed. Put them on the front page of the Boston Globe.
I Am Rapaport podcast.
New York Magazine, the hipster manifesto. It's 2018. I think 2017 they called the year of the woman. 2018 is also the year of the woman, and I have no problem with it. But they just put a bunch of different women, kids, just symbolism, older women, established women, Barbara Streisand, politicians, Anita Hill, just all military people on the cover of New York Magazine. People like Gloria Steinem, Lena Waithe, Dianne Feinstein, all sorts of people. All sorts of very established women who've done heroic things, great things. All these cool women and fucking Stormy Daniels. Stormy fucking Daniels. Now, let me tell you something. I don't know why the fuck they put Stormy Daniels on here. As much as I wanted the whole Stormy Daniels thing to rain down on Dick Stain Donald Trump, it didn't happen. And that's because, number one, she's not articulate. If she was like the adult film actress / stripper who was really cool and articulate, and you were like, wow, she just must have had a tough life and wound up into this, wacky world of being a porn star. And she was able to express herself and articulate herself and represent women and her situation in a great way. Cool. But that's not the fucking case. She had the entire world's attention and she had nothing to back it up with. She can't talk. She has no story. Who cares that Dick Stain fucked you? That's what you're famous for. Dick Stain fucked you while he was married. Great. But what else you got? It's like Tom Arnold. What else you got? Where the fucking tape's at? Duke. Why? Why is Stormy Daniels on the cover of New York Magazine? Her defamation case of Dick Stain Donald Trump just got thrown out of court. No disrespect to strippers, but she's still stripping. This is not a powerful woman, and that doesn't mean because she's a stripper. It's just because of who she is. She can't even fucking talk. She was on 60 Minutes. She's on CNN. She's on this. She's on that. She's got guts. She's got nothing. I think it's ridiculous and disrespectful to the women's movement, 2018, 2017, the year of the woman, to put this fucking dingbat up there. And she ain't a dingbat, once again, because she's an adult film actress. She's a dingbat because she's just a fucking dingbat. She doesn't deserve to be on the cover of New York fucking magazine with all these other people who are really, really bout it. You got generals, people that served in the military and the Air Force up there with fucking Stormy Daniels. She had the entire world's attention and presented nothing. Not a fucking thing. She's represented by that fucking kooky con man, Michael Avenatti, who, let me tell you something, if he runs for fucking president, I might vote for Trump. I might vote for Trump just out of sheer fucking disappointment that if that's the only, if Michael Avenatti runs for president, I'm going to put my best fucking foot forward and I'm going to run for president. Because if this fucking bozo, fucking low-end, fucking lawyer runs for president, that's it. Rapaport 2020. It's done. I'm announcing it right here. If Avenatti runs for president, Rapaport 2020. Fuck it.
I am Rapaport Podcast.
All right. We're going to go into the sick fucks / dumb fucks of the week. Miles, please give me the theme song.
This award is earned, not given. It's called the Sick Fuck of the Week. This guy's really sick. Lock him up.
How could you do it?
Don't let him out.
Damn. You fucked the dog?
You what? You fucked the dog? Why would you fuck the dog? Why would you fuck your girlfriend's dog? What?
Sick fuck.
The Sick Fuck of the Week. It's earned.
Earned.
Not given. You did what? No. No.
Yes. This is the sick fuck of the week segment, mixed in there with a few dumb fucks. This is an award-winning I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast exclusive segment. That's right. The I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast exclusive sick fuck of the week segment. This is an award that is given to a person with a certain je ne sais quoi. This award is earned, not given. This award is earned, not given. First, this is sad but true. This is kind of a dumb fuck. In northern Kentucky, has anyone out there heard of medieval fairs? You know, these medieval fairs where people dress up like they're in Game of Thrones or the movie 3000. And they run around like knights, and they have on the armor, and they joust, and they fight, and they literally think they're on some Game of Thrones Peter Dinklage shit. Well, this fucking asshole unfortunately died at one of these events after being impaled with his own sword. They called it a lance. I call it a sword. I call this an unfortunate dumb fuck. You're not in Game of Thrones, Duke. It's not medieval times. It's 2018. We're on the sniff of 2019. Get off your fucking horse. Okay? You're not having any duels with any of your rivals. There's no prince. There's no queen. There's no castle. Grow the fuck up. Okay? You shouldn't be walking around with a real sword. It's not a lance. You got it at a hardware store. And unfortunately, you killed yourself. You dumb fuck you. Hall of Fame sick fuck, Robert Durst, who we talked about a lot when this documentary came out. It's one of the best documentaries I've ever seen. You should watch it. The HBO show, The Jinx. If you've never seen this docuseries, it's a 6-part docuseries that chronicles his life and alleged killings that he did, and the way the whole thing unravels is everything that's great about a documentary. I don't want to give it away, but it has been out a few years ago. It's been out. It came out in 2015. So if you haven't seen it, check it out. But this is a quick update on Hall of Fame sick fuck Robert Durst. His trial was delayed the other day. He's being tried for murder and manslaughter. Robert Durst had to leave the courtroom because he shat himself in the court. They needed to get him a man diaper, which they couldn't find, and so on and so on. He's going to wind up in jail, and I think he is a murdering sick fuck, but I just wanted to give you that quick update. In Arkansas, this is totally true. If you don't believe me, look it up. It's totally true, because if there wasn't overwhelming evidence, there's about 12, 15 photos showing this is totally true. You would think that this was some sort of made-up conspiracy thing, but I fact-checked it. I broke rule number 1 of the I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast when this was presented to me, because listen, if we don't fact-check and have some integrity about at least the sick fuck of the week segments, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? The sick fucks are sick enough on their own. And if we can't prove them to be truly sick fucks, then what are we doing here? You know what I mean? In Arkansas, in Union County, Arkansas, which sounds like a hell of a place, This is totally true. A sheriff in Union County, Arkansas, was forcing people to take mugshots in Colin Kaepernick Nike t-shirts to taunt and to make fun of Colin Kaepernick and the whole Nike campaign and the Just Do It campaign. There is 12 mugshots of inmates, mostly black, some of them white. All of them look like they're strung out on that K2. But, listen, these people have already fucked up. You can't put them in Colin Kaepernick Nike t-shirts if you're a sheriff. This sheriff in Union County, Arkansas, congratulations. You are sicker than the sick fucks that you arrested. This next gentleman in Tennessee, I read this twice. I was fact-checking the sick fuck of the week segment to try to get it right. I couldn't figure out who was in the wrong here. But this was a Tennessee man. A father and son got into an argument. This sick fuck who looks like a sick fuck who has no teeth, by the way. Douglas Ferguson is his name. Please look him up. I give the names because I want these sick fucks to be shamed. Douglas Ferguson of Tennessee lost his leg fighting his son, who he was trying to run over with a lawnmower when the son attacked him with the chainsaw. Now, he had to have his leg amputated. The father was trying to kill his son with a chainsaw, and the son ran him over with a lawnmower. Okay, that's it right there. He was trying to kill his son, attack his son with a chainsaw. It was going. Imagine your fault. How way the fuck out there do things have to be for your father to come after you with a fucking chainsaw? Miles, cue the chainsaw sound. Imagine your own father. I don't care what's went wrong in your relationship. I do not care what has went wrong in your relationship with your father. Just don't speak. If you've done something to provoke your father to come after you with a chainsaw, it's not you. Your father's fucking nuts. He should be locked up. Well, this kid was mad as hell and he wasn't taking it anymore. And he said, fuck you, Dad, and fuck your chainsaw. And he ran his father over with the lawnmower, and that cocksucker had to lose his leg. Charges have been pressed against the father. Charges are pending on the son. Both of you are sick fucks as far as I'm concerned. This goes under the category of dumb fuck. This happened in New York. A New York Post writer was writing an expose on young vagrants, young homeless people that are strung out in the East Village of Manhattan. The East Village of Manhattan is definitely a place that historically, a lot of druggies and all sorts of people, they from all over the world, not even New York, it's just from all over the world. It's just a vagrant, it's like Disneyland for vagrants. Well, this young millennial writer from the New York Post wanted to go down there and, write on these people and all that stuff. And he wound up getting punched in the face and jumped by some vagrants who were strung out on K2. Listen, dumb fuck. What do you think's going to happen? You think these people want you to put them on Front Street? You think they want to be on Instagram? No, they want that K2. They want that ooh, wee, and they want to live in peace. You're not fixing them, Duke. Let them do their thing and leave them be. They don't want to be on the front page of the Hipster Manifesto New York magazine. You go down there talking to these people, you're probably talking sideways and condescending them. Just because they're on K2 doesn't mean they ain't smart. You're probably talking that hipster bullshit and you got fucked up. That's what happens. Another dumb fuck of the week. In Wichita, Kansas, a felon, former bank robber who spent time in federal prison after pleading guilty to robbing a bank years ago, finally got out of jail after serving a 46-month sentence. And lo and behold, this dumb motherfucker in Wichita, Kansas, went back and tried to rob the same bank again. I am not making this shit up. The motherfucker spent 46 months in federal prison, got out, went in there and said, give me $3,000 and you won't get hurt. Isn't there some other fucking banks to rob, you dumb fuck? You don't remember that you tried to rob the same fucking bank in 2011? Go to another bank. Go to a McDonald's. Go to a 7-Eleven. Don't go to the same bank, you dumb fuck you. Finally. This guy is up for the sickest fuck of the year. This guy is a definite top 5 2018 sick fuck of the year. Shout out to my guy Paul Wall for sending this to me. A guy named Justin Foster, who on paper doesn't look like your average sick fuck, but what he's done has blasted him into the top 5 of 2018. And I don't have all the great sick fucks of 2018, but there's a bunch of them. This motherfucker is like Michael Jackson when he came out with Beat It. It's just like, boom. He's on the top of the charts ASAP. This sick fuck flew across the country from Tallahassee, Florida to Chicago to confront his ex-girlfriend's new boyfriend. He didn't go over there to fuck with the girl. He went over there to fuck with the guy. He confronted his ex-girlfriend's new boyfriend in the street, hit him in the head with a tire iron, which makes him an automatic sick fuck. But then it really got wacky. He knocked him out with the tire iron, carved his initials. He carved his own initials into the victim's leg, and then proceeded to cut the man's dick off. I'm sorry. This is sad, but fucking true. And do not forget, he got on a plane. He didn't drive. He got on a plane from Florida to Chicago to do this. Once he finished cutting the man's penis off, he tossed it over the fence and left him behind in a car in a pool of his own blood. Obviously, this sick fuck fled the scene and jumped back on a plane. Yo, you don't know who the fuck's sitting next to you on a plane. He went back on a plane to Atlanta. He was arrested, taken back to Chicago, locked this motherfucker up by himself. There's no way in hell this motherfucker will ever see the light of day. Obviously, the guy died. The woman is just, she was there. She saw the whole thing. This guy is definitely top 5 sick fuck of the year so far. And listen, I don't have all the stats for 2018, but this motherfucker is definitely potentially going to be the sick fuck of 2018.
I am Rapaport Podcast.
Listen, I told you earlier, it's NBA season. It's a sweet spot for the I Am Rapaport Stereo podcast. Tonight, October 16th, the NBA kicks off. The Philadelphia 76ers are playing the Boston Celtics, followed by the Oklahoma City Thunder playing the Golden State Warriors. KD versus Russ. Those games are going to be fantastic. Wednesday, those are just 2 games on Tuesday, tonight. And then Wednesday, it's a full slate. The league's on and popping. Thursday, LeBron makes his debut, and so forth and so on. Now, as I said earlier in the introduction, I got a very, very unsettling, unnerving, disturbing phone call from our Bizarro Steph Curry. Now, I'm going to be honest. I have asked him to be on the podcast. He never responds to me. And then I'll check my home voicemail. Okay, I still have a home voicemail. every now and then and barely get any messages on there. Lo and behold, today I got this, I call it vulgar. This vulgar message from Bizarro, Steph Curry. Take a listen.
Yo, rapper crap, what's up, man? Motherfucker, listen. I told your bum ass I wasn't doing your motherfucking podcast, man. Listen, look at what it is. What it is we gonna run this motherfucker back. NBA season is starting. I don't give a fuck about motherfucking LeBron. This motherfucker talking about his son is this, his son is that. Bronny this, Bronny that. I got a motherfucking 6-month-old that'll crack his motherfucking ass. Like I said, my motherfucking son will bust his motherfucking kid's ass. Lakers ain't doing shit. Lonzo Ball and them ain't doing a motherfucking thing. Kawhi Leonard's mumbling ass. He ain't shit. Look. How the fuck you gonna be in Canada and don't speak no French? Ha. Motherfucker don't speak English barely, and he got him in Canada. He don't speak no motherfucking French. Kawhi up in Canada like he speak parlez-vous français, motherfucker. You don't even speak English. Mumbling ass motherfucker. Only motherfucker left in pro sports wearing braids and shit. Fuck you gonna do in Toronto? Toronto ain't doing jack shit. Yo, hey, Reese. What other team? Kyrie, that goofy motherfucker. With his this flat goofy ass. That motherfucker is half goofy. You dig? He half goofy. They ain't doing shit. What the fuck they gonna do? They ain't doing jack motherfucking shit. The young boy don't even shave. Jayson Tatum, motherfucker like 17, he ain't shit. I ain't worried about Boston. I ain't worried about your motherfucking bum ass Knicks. They ain't shit. They got that corny four-eyed motherfucker. What's his name? Coaching the motherfucking team. The motherfucker with the Coke bottle glasses and shit. Thinks he's smart. What's his name? Frizdale. What's the Knicks coach name? Frizdale. That motherfucker. Listen, Knicks ain't doing shit. Lakers ain't doing shit. We ain't worried about none of them motherfuckers. Warriors is going back to motherfucking back. Alright? I'm trying to get them rings and things. It's Steph Curry. Last name rhymes with Flurry. I'll take your motherfucking bitch in a hurry, man. Don't be calling me about your motherfucking bum-ass podcast, clown. What? What you gonna do? Well, what the fuck you wanna do?
I don't know what he doesn't sound like he's ready for the fucking season to start, but I'm ready for the season to start. And our next guest is always ready for any and everything, especially the NBA. Coming up next, this is his third time on the I Am Rapaport Stereo podcast. He needs no introduction. Fantastic career, world champion, great shit talker, and just I just love his views on all things about life, basketball, and whatever. Coming up next, my man, Matty Barnes on the I Am Rapaport Stereo podcast. All right, Matty Barnes, I Am Rapaport Stereo podcast. It's that time of year again. NBA, it's fucking here. It's here, man. But before we get into the NBA, I gotta follow up on something we talked about last time I was here. And I talked to my guy, Nate Robinson. You guys had a team in a professional, right? Or there was money on the line, flag football league. And what Nate said, this is per Nate Robinson, we know he's a sick athlete, competitive. The motherfucker everything's competitive. He said you guys got your ass bust. That's what he said. He said there was motherfuckers that were faster than me, Mike.
Yeah. No, it was, I grew up playing flag football. You know, even though football is my first sport, I didn't start playing tackle till I got to high school. So flag is a whole nother monster. And I was trying to tell these dudes, like, you know, in football, you used to putting your head down and going, you know, through people. Like flag, we've always been taught to go around people. So these dudes are like real life flag football players. So it was a dope situation. Unfortunately, I didn't get to play because I tweaked my calf the day before the first game, so I had to watch. It's bullshit.
So do you think you guys need to reevaluate, regroup, and like really put practice into? Because Nate said they were doing like, you know, pinball shit.
Oh, but the other thing, they've been playing like we probably got together maybe, I know our personal team only got together, not as a team, we didn't even get together one time, but maybe a group of 4 or 5 of us got together one time. But these dudes, like the Joe's team that ended up winning the championship, I think something about cancer, like fighting cancer or something, that was their team name or something. They were dope, and they had played hella games before they even got to where we got. So they had chemistry, they knew each other, they fucked with each other, and they whooped everybody's ass.
Are you guys coming back next year?
Yeah, I want to be. I'm definitely going to start training earlier and be ready. But I definitely want to come back and play next year.
NFL. You fuck with the NFL. Who are the players? I mean, this year is like, somebody who was like, I look at, like, if you played in the NFL the way you play defense and up in people's shit, the NFL is like going through a whole thing now because they took away the hand check.
All sports is getting, basketball and football kind of doing a facelift. They want more scoring. They want, their stars to be protected. So it's kind of taking away from anyone who has a defense or an aggressive mindset at all.
Who are your players that you're into? Like, who are your guys in the NFL? Like, right now that you're like, this is the guy.
I love the young kid at Kansas City. Mahomes, he's a monster. And I saw, like, me and the boys watched the game yesterday, and his dad played professional baseball and how he kind of grew up playing sports. So the boys like, Dad, that's kind of like us, right? Like, we used to go on the court with you and everything, you know what I mean? So it's kind of inspired the boys too. But I'm a big fan of Mahomes and what Kansas City's doing. Deshaun Watson and then
the Texans.
And why am I the receiver's name is slipping my mind. He's a monster.
Motherfucker.
That play he had last week against Dallas, the catch and the spin. Whew. So I'm from the Northern California, so I've always been a 49er diehard fan, but we haven't really been that good of late. So I kind of just follow players and teams that they're on.
Was the Garoppolo running out of bounds, not running out of bounds? I mean, that's
crazy, man. We got a lot of money on the injured reserve. You know what I mean? Our starting
lot.
Quarterback, our starting running back had just got $30 million before the season, if I'm not mistaken. So, man, I hope it's something. You know what I mean? It's we have something to look forward to. We're starting to rebuild our defense a little bit, so hopefully it'll come together.
The Le'Veon Bell, it's a different sport. Obviously basketball players get injured, but it's a different kind of injury. What is your take on Le'Veon and him holding out and, the players on the team talking shit about it? And, just from No,
you got to worry about yourself now. It's a different game now. There's no loyalty in sports at all. So if they don't need you, they'll cut you, trade you, waive you, whatever. But he is the best, most talented running back in the NFL, and he needs to be paid as so. These running backs don't have long shelf life, so these franchises just try to stall them out, and give them these franchise tags when they know they should be paying them because, that's what makes their team go most of the time. Not to knock Pittsburgh because they're doing well this year without him. But he's a special talent and he should be paid as such. So I think that, the guy in the Seahawks, Earl Thomas was on the other end of the bullshit where he came back.
And worst case scenario happened.
Come on, man, and got hurt. So, I don't even blame him. He wasn't flipping the teammates off. He was flipping the organization off. And I think the real dudes on the team know that if someone's talking shit, it's because, they're probably salty or whatever. But I think the real motherfuckers know that he was flipping off the organization, not his teammates. He loves his teammates.
Like, just from a team dynamic, because, it's like when you guys are pros, it's different than Little League. It's different than, I was at a birthday party. I missed the AAU playoff game. It's a different situation. When Pouncey and the other guys on the Steelers are talking shit, when you come back into that, is it like, you can't speak for that situation, but like just in terms of, is it like a professionalism? It's not like AAU. It's not like a high school team.
I think obviously you'll have to have words with these people. They're all going to have to sit down because chemistry is the most important thing in the locker room. But at the same time, I think the guys that were talking down on him have to understand his perspective and understand this is his life and his chance. So, on top of the team, I'm sure he's a team player, but you got to look out for yourself, man, because like they said, the second you break your leg and can't play no more, you're not producing, they're going to cut your ass. So you got to get what you can get while you can get it.
Yeah, I agree. It's crazy. It's been a dope year. Another thing happened last night, because that was a crazy game the other day. Patriots, Tyreek Hill, Mahomes, Kansas City. Tom fucking Brady.
It was, I think it was one of those games we're going to look back on in 5 to 10 years. Like, that's, that was I really feel like, especially adding Josh Gordon, I think the Patriots are going to have one more run this year. I think Tom has a little bit of, actually a lot of magic left in the tank. And they're kind of like the Spurs, you know what I mean? Like, they plug people in and they just go. So I think Tom has, maybe one, possibly two more in him. But we saw the future last night, and there's no question about that. The Mahomes and the way that offense is playing, all the weapons they have, they're tight end.
They're on some flag football shit.
They're incredible, man, and speed and power, and a fearless young quarterback that's eager to learn. If they make a few moves to tighten their defense up, they're going to be a problem.
Now, at one point during your run in the NBA, you were nicknamed on social media Captain Lightskin. Do you think Patrick Mahomes is trying to take your title?
Man, he could have it. If I can got that name, he definitely could earn it. I mean, he could definitely take that and have it, and he's earned it already, man. Like I said, he's a special talent. One like we haven't seen, very intelligent, knows when to run, knows when to stay in the pocket and make plays on his feet, can throw either way, running either way, but then he'll fuck around and throw a left-handed pass on you too. So I love his think outside of the box kind of antics, and the team is rallying around. You got to think. I remember hearing at the beginning of the season they were going to trade Alex Smith because they knew what they had, and I was just like, damn, this kid must be special if they're, because Alex Smith is very consistent and gets some, but he never got over that hump. So I was very interested to see. And then this kid is the truth, man.
Yeah, he's fucking ill. Did you see the clip of when Tyreek, they were playing in New England after he made that like video game run, catch and run? I mean, it was so quick. I literally
they threw a beer on him
and throwing beers.
Though I mean, I feel both ways. Like I understand. Like if you're a fucking Patriots fan or if you're a real fan, like you cheer for your team, but there's like a line that shouldn't be crossed.
I agree.
You know what I mean? Because if he were to slap the shit out of those people or say something back, or he was gonna get fined $25,000-$50,000. But at the same time, but they threw beer in his face, and so it's. I love fans, but sometimes they just have to understand, because you gotta think like you wouldn't be doing that crazy shit like if we were just one-on-one in the street, like you wouldn't throw no fucking beer in my face and flip me off.
It's crazy, right?
You get your ass whooped, right? So it's.
I don't get that shit.
Yeah. I get real fans. I love real fans, but like I said, there's a line.
Fuck you suck is okay.
There's like a respect line. Like at the end of the day, we're men, man. You got to understand. You can't just be doing that kind of shit to people.
And just the audacity and the instinct to be like, I'm going to throw beer in someone's face.
Disrespectful.
After they just did something so
amazing.
Like your instinct is, I'm going to splash you, not from feet away.
I'm here. I'm in your face.
Like I don't even have to extend my arm. I see you on social media. You love hip hop. It's like the talk of every single conversation, sports, non-sports, even politics. What is your take on Kanye? Like the whole thing in terms of hip hop, in terms of where you see him at, in terms of like the suffering, the political aspect of it. I mean, it's so out there.
There's so many different layers to what's going on right now with him. I don't even know when to start. Like, I think the father in me, like, wants him to snap out of this shit just because he has kids. You know what I mean? And his kids are gonna see this, and whether he thinks he's doing right or whatever he thinks it is, it's just I think it's kind of from a father's point of view. It's tough to learn that your dad is always out here. You got to think like, and I fucked up plenty of times being a father. And you got to think like you're representing your children. Your children are looking up to you. This and that. So. The dad part of me is just like, damn, I want dog to snap out of this. But just the other side of just what he's doing is, I think sometimes, like, and this is just my point of view, I think, for so many years, he was on that path to being one of the legends in this space. His albums are always heavily, like we always couldn't wait for them to drop, and his music used to move us, you know what I mean? So he seemed like he was just a much different person back then because his work spoke for him.
Right.
Now his music isn't really moving us, so he has to find another way to, like, almost look at me type.
Right.
I'm still one of and he is music mind wise. He's been on some weird shit, but I mean, his track record speaks for itself. You know what I mean? He has some legendary pieces.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just, I don't know if it's a combination of, the marriage with the family he married into, or, his music not moving us like it used to move.
Right.
He's trying to find that or still stay relevant. I don't know what it is. But I just wish I'm real, and I just think that like the shit he's doing with Trump, like, they're laughing at him when Kanye leaves.
Oh, for sure.
They're laughing behind his back, and that's crazy as fuck.
And I think Trump at one point was like, oh, this guy's nuts. Like, you could see him looking at him like,
yeah, he's not playing with the full deck.
Yeah,
you know
like,
what I mean?
I invited the wrong motherfucker here.
And I think, you know what I think too, because if I think he was on his original, like back in the day, early Kanye, like he could have had that Pac kind of following and cult. You know what I mean? Like he was that real and raw and emotional and not afraid to be vulnerable and open his whole life with us. And he was on that Pac type talking like, just in his way, but really connecting with us. You know what I mean? Like his music used to really connect. So I think that possibly that, you know, they're maybe thinking like, you know, this guy maybe could be a leader. So let's kind of draw him in and, you know, kind of put our arm around his back to calm him down and really try to, you know, get him on our side, so to speak. And any blacks that follow him may follow him as well. You know, I think that's why he mentioned that Larry Hoover piece, and now people who are cheering like are really trying to hang their hat on him. But Kanye is smart, and he knows, you know, let me say that shit real quick just so I can have some kind of people still bite for that.
Right.
You know what I mean? But overall, man, when you're embracing and loving a man that spews hatred and his views and his arrogance and his supporters are just racist as fuck, like. And you're a black man, and you used to talk about all the token blackness and all that kind of shit when you came up, and now, you know, you're just on a completely new wave, and it's crazy to some of us.
Yeah, it's bugged out.
Crazy.
It's bugged out. And at this point, like, I know I've talked a lot of shit about it, but I'm like, yo, this motherfucker he's wilding.
You know, he said the other shit, how Marley lives through him, and Pac, and the African, I forgot the...
It was Marley, Pac, and...
I forgot the other name, but like bro, you're on your own right there. That's like, they wouldn't condone the kind of shit that he's on right now.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's, like I said, the dad in me, I hope that he snaps out of it, or, you know, that, because at the end of the day, the kids are most important.
I agree.
You know what I mean? So it's just, I don't know, man.
All right. The fucking FlinchGate. I think I texted
Mike,
you.
come on, Mike. The one fucking thing.
Is this like where this is like JFK's Zapruder film?
Crazy, man.
I mean, I don't. First of all, it wasn't even NBA season. Who's digging through the crates to find this thing? And then all of a sudden, Matt Barnes is trending, and I'm like, oh shit, what happened?
Yeah, you know what's great? Because unfortunately, like when I hear, I'm like, people text me when I'm trending, I'm like, damn, like what the fuck? Like I hope my ex didn't do something crazy, or like I know I didn't do nothing crazy. Like,
right? Did I do something crazy?
Why the fuck are people talking about me today? So, you know, when that shit flashed, and I didn't see it until later in the day, obviously, and it was just like, what? It has to be a slow day for someone. This shit happened 9 fucking years ago, man, and people still. And if you look, like when I post shit or comment on other people's shit, people still say Kobe didn't flinch. Like, bitch, shut the fuck up. Are you like, like these fucking people, like, that shit was almost 10 years. Like, you were probably 8 or 9 or 6 when that shit happened. Like,
I don't understand how this is like.
Fuck up. Like, stupid. But I don't know. Like, I was fucking there. Like I said, it was, tried to put the ball right in his motherfucking face. I don't know where it came from. It just happened, and he didn't flinch. So, I mean, that's the end of the fucking story, really. It should have been.
It's a 5-second thing.
Come on, man. That'll last forever. That people always...
I think you should direct the 30 for 30 on
right. You would think like it wasn't that big of a fucking deal.
It's so funny because like the fact that somebody was looking at that tape in September.
Angle, why? And 9 years later, like
why are you looking at, like, what made that person like?
It wasn't like that was a playoff game or no big significance or anything. It was just you had to be really fucking bored to look at that shit.
All right, NBA. I'm gonna throw topics, ideas, names. What are you hyped about, like, this year?
It's gonna be a fun fucking season, man. The West is loaded. I'm excited about how loaded the West is. And on the East, I love that, you know, DeMar DeRozan's my man, but putting Kawhi in his position in Toronto possibly could be what they need to get over the hump over there. But then at the same time, Philly and Boston is loaded, and Boston is healthy, and Philly is young and has that I don't give a fuck mentality. Like, we feel like we're the best in the East, so we don't give a fuck who has something to say about it. It's gonna be a fun season, man.
Kawhi Leonard, like last year was such a weird year, and we have such short memories. You know what I mean?
I always say this, man. People forget how fucking good he is.
Well, why is he so good?
He's on both sides of the ball healthy. He's the best player in the NBA, hands down. Best, to be able to do what he does and control the pace offensively and get his team involved, and the way he can completely shut down your best player on the defensive end. Like no one else can. Like LeBron can do that offensively and make his team better, and they're gonna love having him there this year. But LeBron can't do what he does defensively.
So if they're healthy, how good is Toronto?
Very, very good enough to make the finals. Definitely good enough to make the finals.
He's that much of a
Kawhi is incredible. Like when we were making our run with Golden State, I was watching the run. When he got hurt, when he stepped on Zaza's foot and hurt himself, he had complete. If you go back and he had complete control of that game on both ends. Complete control of the game, offensively and defensively. And who's to say? I think overall we would have won the series, but I mean, he had the capability of at least getting a couple games from us in that series.
Okay, so they're
that's saying a lot.
Yeah, that says a lot.
Saying a lot, man.
Listen, I don't. You're not a fortune teller. You know what you know. This whole thing that happened with them last year. What is your assessment of what went wrong in San Antonio? Your assessment and what you know, what you've heard, and like what you smell.
All I know is something real had to happen because this is like I compared earlier. Like this is like New England and Belichick. When you think of Pop, so. The way they handle their organization and the way shit never gets out. I mean, it's a great organization. I'm sure they've had their fucking feuds, but it's always stayed in-house. And then for the one person that doesn't say shit to blow the whistle on it, like some crazy shit. You would have never told me like 2 or 3 years ago that Kawhi Leonard wasn't going to be that next great Spur, that next Tim Duncan, David Robinson, Tony Parker when he's done, Manu Ginobili. Like he was going to be that person. There was no question, I think, in anybody's mind. So the fact that the motherfucker that just goes out there every single day and does his job better than 99% of the people on this earth blows the whistle on a Popovich situation, like some crazy shit had to go down.
Crazy.
So I don't even want to speculate because I don't want to be wrong, but I would like to obviously know what the fuck happened. Kyrie,
forget the basketball. He's one of my favorites. He's like a guy that like sort of everybody loves. Mm-hmm. What is his fucking deal? Like, is he going to wind, like, 1 minute he's like, I want to go to the Knicks, and next minute, I want to be a Celtics for life. He seems like he's like, what I wouldn't be surprised is that if he's the Barry Sanders of the NFL, of the NBA, like, he might win a championship, he might not, he might just be like, fuck it, I'm done with basketball. He seems like, like that behavior, like, basketball isn't everything to him, and he sort of marches to the beat of his own drum. Well, what's his deal?
I don't know, man. I don't know Kyrie well enough to know what his deal from the outside looking in. Is just some people love attention, man. You know what I mean? And granted, his fucking talents back it up 1,000%. But some people know when they say stuff, they're going to get a reaction from people. And some people, Kanye, some people thrive off that. You know what I mean? So I'm not comparing them to each other by any means, but I'm saying like he's in a position in his career through his play that he knows when he says something, it's going to make waves. So that would just be my guess. But he's a hell of a player and they got a hell of a team there, man. So I don't really know why you would want to leave Boston. I could see if you're anywhere else but Boston or the Lakers, like to go back and get the Knicks franchise started, you'd be a fucking legend. You know what I mean? And he would be, but you have that same kind of history with ball. You have a chance to make that same kind of history with another historic franchise such as Boston. So I could see him leaving Cleveland or if he ended up going somewhere else before he went to Boston. But to want to leave Boston and what they've built and the amazing coach they have and just the uncertainty with the Knicks organization, from the coach to the fucking, they're not going to be good till Dolan gives this shit up. Because it starts at the top. It starts at the top. And so it doesn't matter who the GM is, who management is, who the head coach is. All these people have continued to rotate through his ownership because it's just, it's a bad work environment.
I just was asking about Kyrie, and you had to fucking it's like you might as well just fucking.
I just want to because I'm a real I really feel like I love that Golden State is one of those or on the way to being one of those historical.
They're already there.
You know what I mean?
This run is unprecedented,
right? But you need Boston. You need like basketball is better. I love that the Lakers are fucking relevant again, and I love they're going to be good. You know what I mean? Because it's just a different energy. Like these big city teams need to be good, and I feel for the Knicks fans because they're so dope. They're so loyal. But management is just the owners just, you know what I mean? It's crazy out there.
Jesus Christ. I haven't even asked about the Knicks, and it's just like, punch me. Throw me like fucking Gordon Hayward.
Love his game.
Where were you when you watched that?
I didn't see it live, and I really tried not to see it. I know it was fucked up. So I'm excited to see what he does, because like I said, how quickly people forget how talented he is. But then on the flip side of that, people don't realize, unless you really understand basketball, the biggest blessing that the Boston Celtics may have in their up and coming, they have a possibility to build a new dynasty, was Kyrie and Gordon Hayward getting hurt last year, because you developed Terry Rozier, you developed Jayson Tatum, you developed all this young talent that wouldn't have got the minutes and wouldn't have had the confidence. Those two young motherfuckers carried their team to the Eastern Conference Finals and lost to LeBron James. You know what I mean? So they would have never had that time, experience, confidence now. Like Jayson Tatum is going to be a superstar. Like they wouldn't have, the foundation of your career is very important, you know what I mean? To becoming one of these people, you know what I mean? So that time they had in 19 years old, and I don't even know what Rozier is, but carrying your historical franchise to the Eastern Conference Finals and battling LeBron James.
To 7.
You know what I mean? So it's just like, Kyrie and Hayward don't get hurt last year, you don't develop those kids like you did last year.
Right. They're fucking ready to go now.
Ready to go. And crazy enough, the way the game is they make Kyrie and possibly Hayward expendable. You know what I mean? Hayward, because Jayson Tatum's going to be a superstar. Kyrie's a motherfucker, so that's another story. And I love Gordon Hayward, don't get me wrong, but Jayson Tatum showed that you got everything you need right here.
Right, and that motherfucker is he 20 now?
Just turned 20.
Like you could tell he doesn't shave.
Nah, he's just a babyface killer.
The whole Jimmy Butler thing. Give it to me raw, my Matt. Who's right? Who's wrong? Here's the questions. I want the answers. Is Karl Anthony Towns really good? Is Wiggins talented but doesn't give a fuck? Is Jimmy Butler right? Wrong? Like you could, if you wanted to, still be playing in the NBA. You're on Minnesota. Give me your fucking... What the fuck, Matt? What the fuck? Who's right, who's wrong, who's good, who's not good? Who should be talking shit? Should anybody be talking shit? And why do they treat Rachel Nichols like she's a therapist? Like, why go to her about it? Yeah. Go to Thibs, call a meeting.
Right.
Give me the whole fucking thing, Matty B.
We live in a different age this time, man, like I said. So
I go to therapy, but it's my therapist.
I feel you, but I think in this last month or however many weeks, we've heard Jimmy Butler talk more than I've ever heard him talk, period. His whole career, as long as we played in the NBA together, like Jimmy Butler was on one of those Kawhi Leonard tips. Didn't say shit, just went out every night and played his best fucking game possible on both ends of the court, was a dog, was led by example. And now it's kind of just like, I don't know if he's always been this way or he just realizes, when he talks, it's going to make waves. It's kind of turned into a circus, but at the same time, he's a fucking dog. You know what I mean? And he plays that way and he has that kind of respect. So I don't know. I mean, from the outside looking in, Towns is very, 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 very talented. But he's not a dog. Wiggins, same thing. God gifted one of those special Vince Carter kind of athleticism, raw talent, like could really do anything if he really applied himself, but he doesn't yet. So I feel what he's saying. I just don't feel like letting all of us, like I said, the most important thing on a team is that locker room chemistry. You know what I mean? So even if these dudes say shit like, okay, it's cool to have, like these motherfuckers are going to be a little bothered by the shit he was saying because the truth hurts. You know what I mean? Not all of it was true, but some of it was true.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because like I said, Jimmy Butler's never been someone to come out and do nothing like this. So he, like I said, he's always led by example. So if he's coming out saying this, there probably has to be some truth to it. But Tibbs knows, and I think Tibbs is one of those really good coaches, that he's just like, he knew that he couldn't let Jimmy Butler go because he knows how important he is to the development of those two. You know what I mean? So somehow they're all going to have to sit down face to face and try to squash this shit because I really feel like Jimmy Butler is the guy that can light the fire into those two very, very, very talented young players' asses and be something.
Yeah, I just don't know how that shit's going to...
Yeah, I don't know if it will. Like I said, a lot of lines have been crossed, but a lot of real shit has been said. So,
But it's said to Rachel Nichols.
Right,
No disrespect to the Rachel Nichols.
No, you're right.
Everybody loves Rachel Nichols.
Yeah, so I don't know.
But she's not Dr. Melfi. This ain't The Sopranos.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you're telling like you said, you're telling all your family business. Like I think, hopefully he's gone to them and told them to their face, man to man, because I think that's going to go a long way. And if that has happened, I think, of course, young kids are different. They're probably going to be a little bitter, but you got to think about, he was saying a lot of real shit.
I agree. All right. We first of all, what's the deal with these pillows, Matty B?
Little product placement. My Active Dreamers, man. Me and my homeboy Jack. We have our little Active Dreamers line. You can find it at NBA.com and ActiveDreamers.com. So we do pillows, blankets, throws, all kinds of cool little shit for like kids' beds. And
Oh,
stuff
that's
like that.
dope. They got blankets and shit?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'll show you the blankets before we leave. Actually, I got one right here. I can fold it out for you when we want to.
Let me see. They got Kuzma. I don't know who this one is. Matty B, you did LeBron a solid on the hairline.
You got to, man.
Yeah, you hooked him up nice.
You can't fuck the king up, man.
You fucking hooked him up lovely. That's dope. All right, the Lakers. First of all, Kuzma. Just the whole Laker offseason, the whole thing.
He's I love Kuzma, man.
Why?
He's 6'9", very skilled offensively, but also plays defense. You know what I mean? And like I said before, you off the air, like I low-key mentored him, hung out with him a few times, just kind of talked to him and letting him know that as talented as you are, like defense is a lost art. And if you're someone that can guard 1 through 5, you add so much more value to your game. He could be one of those, Kawhi Leonard type players if he puts his mind to it defensively because he has all the physical attributes.
I agree. And also the thing that impressed me is that like he didn't really need a start button. He didn't need a reset button. Like he came in with a chip on his shoulder.
Well, I think because, he was the one that was forgot about when he was drafted. There was so much Lonzo hype that this kid had no pressure, and he was probably on the fuck the world type shit. Like, I got a lot of game, too. So I like the way he came in because he came in and let his game show it. You know what I mean? And that's the most important thing.
Last time we podcasted, and last year this time, Lonzo. Last year was like a bust because of injuries, because of the expectations were like, nobody could have. I think last year when we think about like all the hype and talk, I don't think I've ever seen a player, even LeBron, because of the social media, come in with the hype.
Yeah, you can't call it a bust. Because you can't,
the first season.
Because you still can't call it a bust. You could just call it a fucked up first season because of injury. But he showed flashes. And his numbers at 10, 7, and 7. Mm-hmm. Like, come on, man. That's a very solid outcome. On top of all the bullshit he was facing before, like I said, with his dad talking shit the way he talked, being from LA and being the number 2 pick to the Lakers of all places, like he had, there has probably outside of LeBron, there's never been as much hype on anybody probably in any professional sport. You know what I mean? So with all things said, with 10, 7, and 7 for your rookie campaign at 19 years old, like you did a hell of a job.
I agree.
Hell of a job. He just happened to get hurt, and then other people like Tatum shined. You know what I mean? So people want to question so he was in a no-win situation unless he stayed healthy and averaged like 18, 10, and 9. That was the only way people were going to be like, okay. But I think it's far from a bust. I think he worked hard and used a lot of that bullshit everyone was talking as motivation year. Hopefully his dad keeps, shuts the fuck up. And these guys are special, man. This is a very special. I think people sleep on 2 things. One, that LeBron's only 33. Like, yeah, he has a lot of miles, but the excitement he brings to that team reminds me of the Warriors now. Like, if you look at the way the Lakers bench is up, celebrating, having a good time, those motherfuckers are playing like the Warriors, straight up and down. And you also don't take in consideration, this is a young team. Luke came from Golden State, his mindset and his knowledge of the game, so he's very understandable. He knows that's the blueprint to basketball, so they're playing that way. I thought I was going to sneeze. But then we take for granted you have two of the best basketball minds possibly ever as on-floor coaches with LeBron and Rondo. Ever. You know, Draymond Green, Chris Paul, you put on that list as far as guys in my era. But LeBron and Rondo are two of the best basketball minds in the game, period. So you got at least one coach for sure on the court at all times. You know what I mean? And then these are young, smart. Lonzo ran that team when he was healthy last year. Kuzma's a very smart player. You know what I mean? I love their free agent signings because it gives them edginess and toughness with Lance and Mike Beasley. JaVale,
I agree. JaVale's a piece.
You know what I mean? All these guys have always had knocks on them, but under the right leadership, they've all played well. JaVale played well in Golden State. Mike Beasley played well with LeBron in Miami. Lance played well when I was on his ass with us in Memphis. You know what I mean? So when these guys have guys that they respect and listen to, these are talented players.
I
agree. You know what I
agree.
mean? So not to mention, Magic is doing his Magic shit, and Rob is doing his thing, and Jeannie made great moves by listening to Kobe. You know, Kobe told her that you're gonna have to clean house to get this, shit back on, and she listened. To fire your brother, and then Mitch, Kupchak, who's been there, will probably go down in the Hall of Fame is one of the best GMs ever. Like, Kobe said, you're going to have to push that reset button.
Was that Kobe that was pushing?
I just read something the other day about it. So it was on Instagram, so I don't know if it's 100% true. But I think, from what I've kind of heard, I think it is, that they had a conversation and that's what happened. So like I said, don't quote me. It was something I read on Instagram, but that's where I get my news from.
No, we're fucking quoting you.
That's where I get my news from, but it would make the story dope.
All right, 2 questions about the Lakers. First of all, Lance. I love Lance. Brooklyn. He's like is about as Brooklyn as it gets.
I love Lance. He's one of my favorite people on earth.
What's his fucking deal? He doesn't do interviews. What's his story?
He's just burnt out. But he's my fucking guy. He's just such a great dude, man. He's a great person. Always positive. Always, he'll light up a room. He's a really good person. I think there's just such a crazy misconception of him, because he's burnt out at the same time, if that makes sense. So he's someone I loved playing with, someone I still talk to, and he's going to bring a lot to that team because he can do a lot.
I agree.
He can guard, he can get in your head, but then he can run that team too. He needs to stop dribbling the fucking ball so much sometimes, but he can play point guard. He can play the scoring 2. He can play the 3. He can guard 1 through 4. You know what I mean? So he's very important to what they're going to be doing this year.
One of the other knock on the Lakers and these basketball experts and who I've never seen even shoot free throws. Now I can make right now 10 free throws in a row. So I at least have that.
You can?
10 free throws in a row.
I don't fucking believe that, because I remember you shot on the Laker hoop in here last time we were here.
That's a fucking pop-a shot.
You scored 15. My kids scored like 60.
But that's a fucking pop-a shot. I'm talking about 10 footers.
Well, I have a basketball. We can go check after.
I can make 10 in a row.
Okay, we'll go look after. I'll bet you $1,000.
Fuck that, man. I'm not saying
you can't make 10 in a row.
I'm not saying that I'm guaranteed to make 10 in a row.
But you have.
I can make 10 in a row. If we stay here for a couple hours and we start and stop, I can make 10 in a row.
Okay, all right.
But the point is that I know I'm not a basketball expert.
Right.
Okay, I know what I know and I don't know what I don't know. One of the knocks on the Lakers is that they don't have shooters. Is that true? Not true? That's the thing. They don't have shooters. Do they need shooters with what does that mean?
They do need shooters, I think. Not during the regular season, you know what I mean? Because I think their spacing and the intelligence of that, they're going to make that kind of shit work. But in the playoffs, the game slows down and you're going to need more spacing. You know what I mean? They're going to be able to rip and run during the regular season, and they're going to be fun. And I can see them being third in the West. The West is tough, but I don't see why not. You know what I mean? I think Golden State is still the team to beat. Houston is up there. I mean, the West is loaded with all the teams.
Utah's a problem.
Utah, New Orleans is tough. Denver's tough. Minnesota, if they get their shit together, is tough. Dame in Portland is tough. I mean, there's the West is going to be wild. That's why I'm so excited about the season. But I can see the Lakers fucking around and being top 3 in the West, man. If their chemistry gels and they believe in LeBron and Rondo and Luke does his thing.
I agree. One team that you didn't mention, and I know it was probably not on purpose, Oklahoma.
Yeah, yeah. Come on now.
Is Russell Westbrook going to be like this guy? He's banging his fucking head on the wall. Is it ever going to? He's so good. Everybody loves the way he plays, right? Yeah. The tenacity. But at a certain point, does the tenacity have to go from a 17 to a 9? And like, because some people are like, well, now we see why KD wanted to leave. Carmelo's not the Carmelo of old, but Carmelo was like, he's in the corner sometimes last year. Like, what will happen with Russell Westbrook's career?
I think he's going to go down as one of the possibly the greatest players ever. Just bad timing. You know what I mean? Because he came in the time where Golden State created their dynasty. You know what I mean? He's a hell of a fucking player.
He's sick.
Hell of a player.
And Paul George is a fucking player.
And someone, you take Russ to war with you when you talk about, like, who would you take in your foxhole, who you going to, Russell Westbrook is right up there. There's no question about it. But it's a combination of bad timing and just Russ is going to be Russ.
Can you win with that? Like, it's like, you're going to get a lot from it.
I think you can't. If it wasn't for the Warriors, possibly. I think if they would have kept that team together with KD and the Warriors hadn't come along yet or anything, like, they had a hell of a team with Serge and, Cephalosha.
And those goons, fucking Adams.
And Perk and a young Reggie Jackson.
Yeah.
Like, when we used to battle them when I was with the Clippers, those motherfuckers were tough, even though we should have beat them. The refs cheated us in Oklahoma City. But those are some motherfucking teams they had, man.
They were fucking good. All right, finally, the Warriors. My prediction is they're going to win it again. I love this fucking team. I mean, I was watching, it's preseason, but I'm watching Steph in preseason, and I'm like, this fucking guy, like, this isn't the year that he slows down, because he was doing...
No, hell no. I wish people would just realize what the fuck you're witnessing. Like, you're witnessing history, man. Whether you believe in how the team was built and KD riding along and now they got Boogie and all this. Like, this is special. Like, this team will be talked about forever. Steph Curry will be talked about forever. Kevin Durant, Draymond Green, Clay, Boogie. Like, you're witnessing, like, you have 5 Hall of Famers. Hopefully Boogie comes back healthy, which I know he will later in the season, on the floor at once. And you got to think the Warriors have been fine without Boogie, and they've never had a center that can space the floor like Boogie can. So now you got to think about, you have to stop a 1-5 pick and roll with Steph and Boogie. Like, what the fuck do you do to stop that?
What do you do to stop that?
If they slow down and take advantage of the ISO, not a point guard on this planet can guard Boogie, and not a 5-man can guard Steph. You know what I mean? But if they just keep the ball moving, they'll probably end up getting a layup or a wide open 3. So it's just like, what they have is incredible. And I hope that they can somehow keep it together.
What is Boogie Cousins, like, this whole thing, like, he's not going to fit in. My opinion, they'll cut you.
I don't believe it.
Because they don't need you.
I don't believe it. I think it's going to be the best thing as a man and how to carry yourself as a professional that can ever happen to him.
Because why?
Going into this organization, like, it's such a dope organization. You want to do well. You want to do right. You want to fit in. You want to win. You know what I mean? And if you don't, Draymond is going to be on your ass from the jump. KD will say something to you. These guys are going to hold you accountable. And like I said, it's such a dope environment that you don't want to be the dickhead that fucks everything up. You know what I mean? So I know Boogie, and I know when he's locked in what he's capable of. But like I said, I think day in, day out, being around these winners and these guys that are, a lot like him, but just hone their emotions. And, like, I think Draymond and Boogie are going to be good for each other, because they're going to see how fucked up it looks sometimes when the other one goes off and costs your team some shit. You know what I mean? Like, it's humbling sometimes. I play with Boogie and I play with Draymond, so I know how it is. Like, we're all similar type of energy and, alpha, like, tough guys, like, hold teams down type players, you know what I mean? So I think they're going to be good. Him and Draymond are going to be good, bouncing off each other. Kerr trusts you when you're out there and installs confidence in you. So like I said, it's a great organization. I know the city's going to embrace the fuck out of him. The teams embraced him, and they didn't need him to win the last 3 out of 4. So now you got him. So, hopefully he takes his time, which I know they'll make him do, come back January, February, March, whenever he comes back, and just fucking dominates.
All right. Predictions. We haven't even started the ball hasn't even been thrown up. 2018, 2019 predictions. Who will be the final 4 teams, barring injuries, based on everything that Matt Barnes knows, computer, algorithms, history,
I don't go by none of that
flinching.
Yeah.
What will be the final 4 teams, 2 in the East, 2 in the West, right now in October? Come on, Matt. I'll make my fucking prediction.
it hurts me to leave Toronto out, but I'm going to have to go with Philly and Boston in the Eastern Conference Finals. And I'm going to go with the Warriors and, forgive me, CP, if you end up hearing this, because I love Houston.
Everybody listens to the Iron Rapaport Stereo podcast.
I love Houston, but I want to see the Lakers and the Warriors. It might be a year away from that, but I would love it would have a possibility to put basketball into an atmosphere it's never been in, as far as fans and excitement. And what better story than LeBron versus the Warriors, and now you're coming from the fucking East where you went for 8, and then now you're coming to take the historical Lakers to the finals. Like, if that happens, that's a huge storyline. And then the new East, it's a battle between Toronto,
the Knicks. The Toronto, the Knicks. Go ahead, say it.
Toronto,
the Knicks,
Boston, and the 76ers. But I just like the 76ers and Boston's youth mixed with experience. You know what I mean? I think that Toronto's been kind of sitting on the same pieces for a while. So hopefully Kawhi can be that spark to get them over the hump. But I'm going to go with the younger teams.
Finally, Matty B, I've asked you this before. And I even know, like, people love your takes. You have great point of view. You have like a chill disposition. What are you going to do? What are you up to? Obviously, I know you're on your entrepreneurial shit. Are you going to be involved with basketball? Are you finished with basketball in terms of broadcasting, analyst? What do you want to do with the rest of your life? I know you want to be a great father.
Yeah, that's number one. The only thing I really do in basketball at this point, like, I'm done playing basketball.
Right.
Playing basketball, I got a chance to play as long as I wanted to play, you know what I mean? And I'm so excited about this next step and really being a full-time dad now and an entrepreneur. So I'll do broadcasting, I think. I'm doing some stuff with Fox. I've done stuff with ESPN, so I think I'll do some stuff there. But I just think overall, when I want to be out there and talk, and if I'm going to be a personality for people to hear, I don't want to just talk about sports.
Right.
You know what I mean? I just feel like with my life and all the shit I've been through, like, I just kind of want to talk about life in general. Sports can definitely be one of the topics, but there's so many other layers that I'm interested in and I have knowledge in. So if I do, go out there and decide to become a personality once all the business stuff comes down, I want to be more like a Michael Strahan type, to talk about life in general and not like a Stephen A. Smith.
Do you sometimes, like, your career and your iconicness in basketball, like, it's been a long run, but do you sometimes be like, I can't believe I made the NBA. I had this great career.
Man, fuck.
Like, how old are you now?
Me, I'm 38.
You're 38 years old. Like, like, this first clip of your life is over. Like,
right.
You're 38. I'm 48.
And I'm looking at it, I'm looking at it from a couple different points of view, man. Fortunate enough to play as long as I play, but then I'm seeing guys that are older and want to get back, and it's just like, damn, like, I couldn't imagine, like, if I still wanted to play, like, how my mind would be, because once you're out, the NBA doesn't really want you back, and that's with all due respect. You know what I mean? The only person that got to leave and come back was MJ. You know what I mean? But no one else has successfully got to leave and come back. You know what I mean?
When you actually leave and then come back.
Right. You know what I mean? Because the NBA wants young and fresh and new. You know what I mean? That's what they're always looking for, the next star. You know what I mean? So no matter how talented you were during your career, like, if you get to a certain, get in your 30s and you step away, like, the odds of you being able to come back, you know what I mean, aren't good. You know what I mean? So like I said, I couldn't imagine if I wanted to come back, it would be crazy, because I'm seeing guys that I play with, and I just saw Ben Wallace's thing the other day where he said, he's having a hard time since he's finished. The phone's not ringing no more, and this and that is not happening, and it's unfortunate. You know what I mean? Like, I just feel tremendously blessed that, I had things in the oven cooking while I was playing, and everything started to roll out after I was on the Warrior championship team. And it was just an easy transition for me. You know what I mean? Like, I really wanted to spend more time with my kids. Like, I really wanted to start doing more business stuff. You know what I mean? And fortunately, like I said, what I love the NBA for is our money is guaranteed. So I'm still getting paid until the end of this season coming up.
Do you think your perspective, obviously there's different factors, but do you think one of your things that helps you with the perspective is that you were sort of an underdog?
Yeah, like it just gets tiring.
You weren't a debutante.
It gets tiring. Like, I was I had to be that Undertaker. You know what I mean? And that shit wears on you mentally, emotionally, physically, because to always be the bad guy, to always be the one that, yeah, your teammates love you, but everyone else boos you and hates you type shit. Like that shit wears on you, especially when like you're not that kind of person. You know what I mean? So like
it's a character.
Right. You know what I mean? So then
it's Matt Barnes, the basketball player.
It's my competitive nature. You know what I mean? So once I was just kind of like, okay, shit, like I played a long time, you know, I did well with my money. I was able to, you know, not necessarily win a championship how I wanted to, but, you know, got a ring. Like my kids are growing up. I'm missing a lot of time with them because they're in LA. I'm in the Bay. You know, now is just the time. And it felt right. And like I said, things were starting to unravel business-wise that summer too, where it just made like I'm cool, man. You know, like I'm not tripping. Like I worked out a little bit that summer before last season, but it just wasn't like, I don't know, man. Maybe I was just over, and that's why like I'm not tripping off trying to play again or trying to play, you know, in the big three or going overseas. Like I don't touch a basketball like unless I'm like we have basketball practice with the kids, and then I'm not one of those guys that are over here shooting the whole like I'm coaching. You know what I mean? Like I just don't. You know, it's done. I'm done.
You should coach the kids. Be like, stand there. If you fucking flinch, you're running 5 seconds. Like, yeah, I don't care that you're 11. All right, Matty Barnes. We talked our shit. I appreciate you rocking with me. I appreciate all your takes and everything. And
I'm here for you, Mike. Whenever you need me,
Matty B.
Talk shit with you, bro. I'm here.
All right. What more can I say? It's the I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast. NBA season is underway. I want to thank Matt Barnes for rocking with me once again. I guess I got to thank Bizarro Steph Curry for calling in. I don't know. This is totally true, and I'm just doing this because I'm so proud of it. But MyBookie, you know, the company that we fuck with, MyBookie.ag, is actually taking bets on things other than sports. And the I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast, I think, had a hand in this one particular bet. I put my money where my mouth is. They are taking bets with 3-1 odds on whether or not, this is no bullshit, MyBookie.ag is taking bets on whether or not Kanye West will be allowed back in the White House before 2020. I say hell to the fucking no. You could bet on that. Like I said, I said hell to the fucking no. There's no way they're letting kooky Kanye back in the White House. That's at MyBookie.ag. This is the I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast. My name is Michael Rapaport. Miles Jordan, take us out of here with something really nice, really proper, really funky. Once again, Matt Barnes, thank you for rocking with me.